Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset, hosted by Deborah and Moira. This podcast is designed to help listeners unlock their full potential, both personally and professionally, so they can thrive, not just survive. Deborah and Moira explore how natural tendencies don't always serve individuals and provide insights on how to harness existing strengths. Their goal is to equip listeners with the habits, mindset shifts, and strategies needed for lasting, meaningful change. Finding purpose and fulfillment can be challenging, but this podcast offers expert conversations, practical advice, and valuable tools to help align with a true sense of purpose and create a more fulfilling life. So grab a notebook, open your notes app, and get ready to take in some game-changing insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome, dear listeners. Welcome, dear Deb.
Hi.
Hello, my dear.
Ooh.
Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations episodes. I'm interested to see how we go with this one. Strategies to embrace your emotions. Oh, embracing your emotions. Such a powerful, important thing to do. We're not always conditioned to do that. So
And not even knowing how to, not even knowing how to. Anyway, carry on.
Sometimes not. So before we get into our strategies, let's bring ourselves into some heart coherence. You know, I'm actually doing a course right now that's teaching me to go even deeper into this whole idea of heart coherence. It's actually so important, so pivotal. So really all you need to do, and it's in the fact that I'm doing this, maybe this is going to be about part of the strategies to embrace your emotions. Come into heart coherence. So, dear listeners, if you can and if it feels comfortable, I encourage you to put one hand or both hands over your heart space. And just take a really nice deep breath in and sigh it out of your mouth. And do another one, nice deep breath in and sigh it out of your mouth. Good. Feel the support where you're sitting or standing. And allow your breath to find its natural rhythm, perhaps a wee bit slower than normal, but deeper. And set the intention that you're breathing in and out of your heart space. So feel your chest rise, your belly rise, and then feel it coming back out, the breath coming back out. And just sitting or standing with your attention on your breath, with your attention at your heart space. It's such a beautiful way to calm your nervous system, to land in the present moment, and to actually walk forward with a little bit more presence than you may have had before you started this. So take another nice deep breath, intending that you're joining your heart energy with everyone else who is listening to this episode, this conversation. No matter where they are or when they're listening, we can still energetically join when we land at the heart. Nice deep breath. Yeah, and I encourage you to embrace that technique, make it your own, and do it often throughout your day. And now let's get into talking about strategies to embrace your emotions. We encourage you to grab your favorite note-taking device, whatever that is, because we want to
get into it.
Get into this. Break this one apart and get into strategies to embrace your emotions. So where would you like to start with this one, my dear?
I think I'm going to say in no particular order because there's
that's right. That's one of Deb's favored.
It has to be lately because my head's like, and then there's that, and then there's that, and then there's that, and there's another strategy.
But you see, they technically are in a particular order. They're in the order that they occur to us. That's it.
Yes, they're in the perfect order right here, right now.
Exactly.
This is going to be an interesting one because when I think about this, when I went, okay, what are my strategies to embrace my emotions, not let them go? Change the whole thing to embrace to let go. Strategies to embrace my emotions. I just went, you have to let go of the old you, Deborah.
Mm.
And if you're really going to evolve, you have to look at the old you, be thankful of the old you, and let it go. And the reason I say that, because you may go, oh, back in the, when I was 20, and I'm not, by the way, now, when I was 20, I could just laugh this stuff off. And now at 50, now I get emotional. So you're no longer that 20-year-old who used to let it, who would. So just know that the old version of you is not the new version. We're here to evolve and create. And you may think you would prefer the 20-year-old, but the 50-year-old is, now I'm not just aging everyone from 20 who's listening to this podcast to go to 50, but there's a significant difference in my 30 years. But it's actually about loving the new version of you. So just letting go of the old you, which brings into the loving the new version of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you love yourself, when people say things to you, you don't react to start with, because you're like, well, state the obvious. And people have said things to me, and I've just gone, well, state the obvious, that's clear. Yep. People will go, oh, you're angry. Yep, that's clear, state the obvious. So whereas if they go, you're angry and you're trying to hide it, you're going to react instantly different. So summing that one up there, did you grab your note-taking device, people? Yeah, I'm no longer that person. Moira's no longer that person. If you go back to our very first podcast episode, we're no longer the same people from that.
So this is a good way to start us off. I separate it out, by the way, self-love as a separate tip, because it needs to be all on its own. Self-love, because embracing, embracing your emotions is, you see, there is massive intel embedded in every single emotion. And sometimes our intuition speaks to us in our emotions. In fact, oftentimes. So embracing your emotions is something that I think is really important, is to understand that there is no emotion that's permanent. All emotions are impermanent. And not only that, that if an emotion is coming in to teach you something, to show you something, to inform you of something, it needs to be honored. It needs to be acknowledged. Here's an experience of this. Here's an experience of being irritated. Well, what's that teaching you? Oh, it's teaching me that maybe I haven't loved myself. Maybe I haven't filled my cup. And so embracing your emotions means they're coming through you, and they inform of the choice. Because Deb, you know that question. I often say, how do I feel about myself here?
Yeah.
I'm asking you to drop into your emotional landscape. Your inner wisdom is kind of fueled by your emotional landscape, right?
I think, and well, actually, it's a separate tip, is lean in, don't lean out. Lean in when this happens. And yeah, it is a separate tip. When I think it, just exactly what you said, but don't avoid it, because, well, we know what happens when we avoid.
It gets louder, and bonks you on the head.
I know, and it comes and just immobilizes you if you really miss the alertnesses and the flashing lights and that stuff. But lean in, don't avoid the work. And when I say lean in, you might, lean in with curiosity. Don't lean in with, oh shoot, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Lean in with, oh la la. And when you put a little bit of curiosity into things like, oh, let me figure this out, or let me see what this really means, instead of going, fuck. There's a different level of healing within your soul when you're leaning in with curiosity, instead of leaning in with resentment, bitterness, frustration,
shame, guilt.
Dumb old me, I should have learnt this last, like that. Lean in with a fun curiosity. And just try it, people, because it is literally so quick. If you go, oh, I've got to do this again, go, ooh la la, oh, I'm gonna give this one a little go, or I'm gonna, there's just that playfulness around it, even if it doesn't feel playful. I'm just going to be honest. Just put that little bit of playfulness in there.
Yeah.
It just has a different love to it.
Yep.
And it's much easier when you're appreciating that, leaning in, than resentment, bitterness, grumpiness, have to, should, ought to,
Yep.
leaning in. Yeah.
On the heels for that one, the next tip I wrote here was patience.
Oh, yeah.
Because that is how you embrace your emotions, is that patience, you know, if we're being too aggressive with ourselves of like, gosh, I should be over this by now. I should be through this experience and I should be feeling better. Actually, should is such a red flag to say, maybe, just maybe, it's time
Yeah.
to put your hand on your heart and
Mm,
be patient and loving and kind and curious and just that the piece that I would encourage you to use after reminding yourself to be patient is this too shall pass.
mm,
Because if
mm.
you're experiencing something that you feeling discombobulated, feeling stuck or questioning or turbulent, it will pass.
Yeah.
But perhaps if we can release the story, shoulds are telling a story. But
Mm,
release the story, feel the emotion, and then the emotion goes, thanks. You allowed
yeah.
me to be expressed. You allowed me to inform you of something. And now it releases, right?
Mm, yeah. Well, even just when you're saying patience, and my whole body had a physical reaction.
What do you
Patience.
mean?
I haven't got time for that. I could hear my internal thoughts, and then my physical body went, yeah, yeah, that's it. But then the tip or the strategy I really want to share is you're not alone, and get help.
Mm,
Now, I want to talk about getting help, and I'm going to suggest Moira and myself. I'm
of
clearly going to
course.
do that. Because your friends and family can only go so far.
Mhm.
And when they're invested, and they remember, they bookmark that conversation they've had with you about say about your partner that you said 3 years ago, and they're
I know, I
still,
was just going to say 5 years ago.
I know, and they're
Yeah.
still bringing it up,
Yeah.
and you don't know where they've shared that story. So if this, even just to, if, when my first tip, let go of the old you, if you just go, oh, I don't even know where to start, don't know how to, reach out. Self-love, what does self-love look? If you don't know, reach out. Don't let this just go, oh, I don't know how to do that, don't know, it's too hard. Just reach out. We have a variety of tools, from freebies, from Moira's got the meditations.
Mhm.
There's a lot of stuff that we have there.
Yeah.
And then of course we have our one-on-one, but you don't have to do this alone. I don't know how to really emphasize. I don't know, I just feel we're here for you, without saying use us. Tap into our genius there. Yeah,
There you
use
go.
it.
I
Tap
like
into
that. Tap
because
into our genius.
tap into our genius, because we are here. We're here.
Definitely.
That's all there is to it. We're here for you, and we want to get the best for you. And I believe we can, because by crikey, we've been through a bit, and
We've
still
been
do.
around the block a wee bit.
Yeah, I don't know if you say that. That's just, you know, in New Zealand that means something else. Thank
Well,
you.
it
And
does actually, I know, but
yes, you know what? Yes, I have. There you go.
yeah, yeah,
Yes, I have. Back in my 20s. Yes, I have. But you don't have to do this alone, and it's a lot quicker to get help.
yeah,
So and
definitely.
help is a real empowering strategy in this world.
On the heels of that one, and I love how these are coming out because I want to bring in trust. That
I love how I said these in no particular order. Just saying, and
I
I'm
know,
like,
but they really
they
are.
really are. Yeah, they clearly are. Yeah.
But I want to talk about trust because trust, if you're going through a turbulent time or lots of emotions that are uncomfortable, maybe you're going through a grieving process, or maybe you're going through change or resistance within you, trust that everything that you experience, you can get through.
Yeah.
However, to your point, sometimes you getting through it means asking for help, reaching
Mm,
out and saying, I've got this part, I can handle this part, but I need somebody to be a sounding board for me, or give me strategies or ideas, or just let me let me have somebody to exchange my idea to see, you know,
Yeah.
am I stepping through this, or am I getting stuck in the vortex of, oh my God, I shouldn't be here, right?
Or do I want to cure it, or do I want to resolve this as quick as I can so I can keep moving?
Yeah, yeah. And so with trust, I encourage you to say, I've got this, but then also allow your own inner wisdom to inform you if you need somebody to hold space. And to your point too about being wary about talking to family members, I've talked about this before on previous episodes about the book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And one of the principles that he talks about is being very mindful about who you talk to about the delicate goals or intentions. You want to
Yeah.
make sure you speak to those who are supportive, who believe in you, who are going to allow you to maybe express your emotions and not have them saying, "What, you shouldn't be doing that." Or so
Yeah.
to you, that was me thinking about when family members, and they do, some family members do that. They bring
Yeah,
things up.
well, I know, yeah, they do. They bookmark that stuff. But I
Yeah.
also want to say something, just because when you started saying trust, and get some help, I started thinking about American Idol, and if you watch American Idol, that's great. It's not my thing, but I have seen people who have been, oh, atrocious. I'm like, what the heck? I can't sing. I know, but I'm looking, going, what the heck? You must have the biggest mindset of belief in yourself to come here. And you know where that's come from? It's come from family members who have said, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. So,
Right.
and the reason I'm just saying that is that just because Moira said get the support, you also want the honest feedback, because I see those people and I'm like, how the heck did they get that? We know those ones, people, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, and I feel for them oh, my mum says I'm amazing and my grandma just loves hearing me. Well, you're tone blooming deaf, and what the heck? And so just know family members love you and they want the best for you, but they can also stagnate you, and there can be ripples of things that can happen from that.
Mm.
Does that, without saying your mum's deaf and your dad's deaf, and then they've sent you into that, but does that, have you seen those ones? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I'm
I
like,
do. I do. Yeah.
oh, I'm just like, who? And then at the end they go, and the judges say, and who are you here with? Oh, my mum. She says I'm the most amazing singer, and my grandma's supporting me from age 2. And I'm like, oh my God, your grandma's she takes a hearing aid out. There's no way she can say that's amazing. But it does happen,
Mm.
and so be cautious or conscious that that's another thing, that family members can love you so much that they believe in you, so they
Mm.
say that, but in reality you might need to have a few little lessons before you go out in public.
Go get a second opinion.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Without saying your parents are, it is their role to support you, but it's also their role to shake you and wake you up to some truths out there as well, not
Mm.
just wrap you in cotton wool.
Mm.
I'm just going to giggle next time I'm going to have that. I'm going to see that American Idol. Is American Idol. It's where they have the judges and they,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
they have there's lots and lots of spin-offs for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who gets up there and sings, I want everyone to remember that. I want everyone to remember that that's what family can do to you.
Mm.
Saying, and if
Mm.
you're one of those people on that who sung on TV and your family did that, then Moira and I are here for you. It's that's what I'm going to say. Yeah.
But it's to embrace your emotion, like even with things like that, is I wonder sometimes that gosh, if you think you're really good, what have you been listening to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, well, I think even that, when you just said listening to, that's that comparison thing too. Don't
Hmm.
compare that. I mean, you're definitely unique your own way, but boy, crikey. But watch your comparisons, look at what you see in them and then find where you have it in you. That's the easiest way to shut down that competition. They've got this, they've got this. They may be a creative baker, but what is it? They're creative in their weaving. You may not be creative baker, but you may be creative in your business, or you may be creative in your way to get your children to eat the food. You may be, I was just thinking about someone I met last weekend. She's like, oh, we do this. And my head went, oh, that's too much admin for me. Just tell them they're eating it. But we're all different. We're all wired differently.
We are. And so the tip that I spun off from what you just said about watching comparisons, I've shared on previous episodes that I'm going through a grieving process, and I'm finding out lots about the grieving process and how I am in it. And so I think that that's such an important piece, that if you're going through something, whether it's grieving or it's adjusting something new or going through some kind of turbulence or trauma or turmoil, it's your journey. Embracing your emotions, not looking at somebody. It's okay to ask somebody who's maybe gone through an emotional upheaval like that if you need some insights or perspective, but not judge or shame yours, right?
Yeah.
Your journey is your journey, and nobody gets to tell you how to navigate it, right? That's why I said your emotions, they're asking for you to feel them.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think that just goes back to that very first one, is let go of the old you again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of who you think you should be.
Yeah, no shoulds here. Should is, regardless of the setting, should to me is always a red flag, wouldn't you say?
Should is a just, yeah, it's a you're on a downhill spiral.
Yeah.
So the moment you're handing out your oxygen mask over to somebody else.
Yeah, it's a judgment. It's a judgment.
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe I so if should is coming up, unpack it and see, can I choose something differently? Do I want to choose something differently? What do I need, right? As opposed to I should get off this chair and start doing something different. Well, if you're not, that's okay. Can you be okay with what you're doing?
And that goes back to that trust. That just even that alone goes back to all of these tips: the trust, the get help, have the patience, and that belief. All of that. When you talked a little bit about the heart coherent, which is usually my first one, is go to the heart coherent. I'm going to bring in the heart coherent to embrace your emotions. We know it's all movable. We're saying, and we know all that stuff, but when you're going from 0 to 100, and it happens, people, we know it goes from
we
0
all
to
do
100. Yeah, and sometimes the finger comes out, and when I say the finger, that pointy finger, and then whoops, I've gone past the 100. Now listen here, you. When this happens, it's a beautiful just reminder to just put that finger back and put your hand on your heart. Even if you're mid-sentence, you can stop your firing squad. You can stop your firing squad at any time. When you're feeling yourself boil up, the sooner you embrace it and pull yourself back to your heart, I'm going to say the less damage to yourself and others is out there. But the sooner you come back, the more you can regulate your own emotions, and you actually take your own power back. Because the moment, I remember Mum saying, the moment you swear at someone, Deborah, you've lost all control. Now, it's a bit different now in this generation. But the moment someone swears in a sentence at you, you pretty much know you've won. If you're going for fight. Now, it's not about winning, but it's about pulling yourself back. So pull yourself back, hand on heart. It's something you can do that can just stop the crazy, hand on heart, pressure yourself, feel that, the heart coherent, whatever you need to do to stop that mid track, do it. I had a wobbly moment, and I know I shared it on here, where I had a checking in at the airline counter.
Oh yes,
and
I remember that. Yeah.
I literally just put my hand over my face, and I turned my back to her. Now, that is not my normal nature, but I knew there was no way I was going to get, she wasn't going to hear anything.
No.
She wasn't going to hear anything. And I just got so rattled that I just knew the only way to stop is I needed to stop listening to her. So I had to put my hand on my face and turn my back, didn't put my hand on my heart. But those things can just instantly change your mood, change your state, just stop the chaos in the track. So hand on heart, remind yourself you're there, even if you have to pinch your finger or something when someone's, whatever it is, to ground yourself back to your body.
Absolutely.
And more as heart coherent. If there is a way you can, if someone's firing at you, you're not going to go, hang on, I just need to pull out a meditation and just stand here and listen to that before I finish the conversation. Be able to remove yourself, or just take the hand on heart and know they've got to let it all out and don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Oh God, we're in.
There's 4 agreements.
Yeah. And there we go. How long did that take to get in?
Do you know, with the heart coherence and the hand on your heart, or breathing, slowing your breath down, imagining you're breathing in and out of your heart space, what you're doing is you're regulating your system. So you're allowing yourself to come to a sense of neutrality, so soothing. And that's where our power is. That's where our capacity to maintain some resilience is. That's why it's so important to have practices. I said that at the beginning of today's episode, to come back to it often, right? But I love that you just brought the 4 agreements into this, because
And then, of course,
they're very appropriate.
In no particular order, these tips are today. You're right, Deborah. Yeah.
You're funny.
Yeah. The 4 agreements are so vital.
Yes.
So vital.
So if you think about how relating them to this idea of embracing your emotions, being impeccable with your word means you're not going to be mean and bitchy and talk smack to or about yourself. Be impeccable with your word. Not taking things personally, whatever emotions are going on with other people, whatever maybe somebody's yelling at you, it's not about you. Don't take it personally. Don't make assumptions. That's going back to what you just said about the letting go of the old you. Don't make assumptions that just because this is how it went, 5 years ago when you were in this type of situation, and the emotions did this and I felt this, it's like, yep, but don't assume it's all going to do the same thing again. Stay present, stay here. And then that last one is to always do your best. Always do your best. But that means here, not tomorrow, not last week. Here, stay present.
Let me finish today. Let me finish today first. And well, I think that also jumps into the 4 agreements as just for today.
Just for today, yeah.
Just for
Absolutely.
the meeting.
Just for
this meeting. Yeah, just for this meeting. I'm gonna go on there and I'm just gonna listen and observe. I'm not gonna be the master who wants to interject and change everything. I'm just gonna listen and see, just for today. And that to me, that eases the pressure. That it just goes, okay, just for today I'm gonna do this. It just sounds more achievable if that, just for this meeting. And then next thing you know, by the way, it's going to be just for the rest of your life. But
it will. But we don't have to jump into that. You know what I just realized when you were saying that is that actually opens up some curiosity. It's like, oh, it's just for today. Let's just try this on for size. Let's see.
I find just for today's not as intimidating.
Yeah.
You're listening to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, here to help listeners unlock their full potential so they can thrive, not just survive. They've shared some very powerful insights so far, so it's time to take a moment to breathe, reflect, and jot down any key takeaways. What's one piece of advice that stands out to apply right away? Before wrapping up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from everyone. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how listeners are putting these insights into practice. Let's dive back in and finish strong.
And you can just go, okay, just for this meeting, I'm gonna not react to them. I'm gonna feel my body, like, just for today, I'm gonna do this. Just for today, or just for this meeting, and it's a playful way.
Yeah.
Just feels like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think after the just for today, I would like to say, one of my that all came out wrong.
She lost her words there.
No, yeah. One of my mentors, Sandra, said to me one day when something happened, I lost my shite. Let's say that. And she said, "Oh, honey, you just had a slip in your magnificence."
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
I like that.
and I was like, no, I didn't. I lost my shit. Oh, no, no. She goes, no, yes, you did. And she just held that energy. So I think the thing is, you're not going to be harmonious 24/7. You
Mm.
cannot be, you cannot be this happy, fulfilled, beautiful, lovely, bubbly person, because if you're like that to the public, then guess what you're doing at home? Like you have to have both sides. You've got to have the dark, the light, the positive, the negative, the left and right. You must have that to evolve on this world. So do not think, when we say strategies to embrace your emotions, embrace all of them.
Yeah.
Embrace all of them. Don't don't just think, oh no, I've been mean to someone today. Oh, I deserve to not eat tonight. Like, don't none of this
No punishment here.
stuff. Just know you must have bright light, dark light, or
Yes.
left, right. Like you must have duality to
Negative
function.
and positive. We live in polarity. We
Yeah, you
have to
can't.
have one to have the other. Absolutely.
Yeah, so don't avoid, don't just beat yourself up with your self-talk is what I'm sort of trying to say. Like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, back to that should word again. But you
Yeah.
must have, no, not one person in this world is 100% positive all the time, loving life. Because if they're portraying that, then I guarantee their head's going to be thinking differently. I need to keep achieving. I've got to keep achieving. I've got to keep going. Like that's a mindset talk that is a spiral. So watch the internal dialogue,
Hmm.
but know everyone has both sides, including yourself.
Absolutely. And to your point, it's so important to embrace both of them. It
Mm.
is said from many different teachings that our power is in the shadow.
Ah, yes.
So if we go into it, and I actually there's readings that I offer that help people really get in touch with what are their shadows. And I actually have developed this new technique to help people embrace it and bring it
Ooh la
into I know it's really quite exciting. I forgot to tell you about that part.
la.
But
Woohoo.
it because you know when we talk about the hidden or the shadowy, we kind of put a lid on it, stuff it down. But if you
Mm,
start saying, but that's my power, and then you encompass it that yes, we all have light and dark within us.
mm.
But if we can learn to celebrate, to appreciate, to be grateful, oh gosh, gratitude. Hello.
Yeah.
How
How
did
they
we get this far into this conversation? Okay, gratitude is right here.
okay.
Yes.
That's it.
So, but
How?
can you be grateful for that which you may think is part of your shadowy part
Mm.
and
Yeah.
use it? Even anger, if you have anger in you, it can actually be used as fire in your belly to create something extremely positive. But that's by saying, I'm having this experience and use it as fuel. Except that one, I love that one.
Yeah,
Like,
I was well, even just, twist it into a game. How can I turn this around?
yeah.
Or I've got a thing I'm dealing with at the moment, and it's definitely throwing me out a little bit. And Mum said to me, "I challenge you to," and I was like, "No," and that's all she worded it. I'm like, "Oh," I hear the word challenge, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I can do this." Like it just turned. Literally, she did it last night to me, and I was like, "Damn you, Mum! Damn you,
Mhm.
Mum!" And I just quickly turned it into a little bit of a challenge that I'm working on at the moment. It's a fun, and now it's a fun challenge. It's
Good.
not, but just,
So,
she's just,
so then you can be, I've got this.
yeah, it's just that quick. She's like, I challenge you. And I could hear her, and I'm like, man, I haven't heard that for a while from my mum. And I'm like, righto, righto, I'll,
She
I'll
was
show
probably
you.
giggling.
She would have been hysterical. I know she would have been going, ha, 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 I've got her. She'll be saying to Dad, I've got her now. She'll do it. She'll do what she didn't want to do because I've challenged her. It'll be
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll show you.
yeah,
Actually, because
exactly.
yeah, I have that propensity too. Like, what do you mean? I'll show you.
Exactly, exactly. I was like, yeah, but it's turned it into something that was heavy.
Mhm,
Not heavy heavy, but on a scale of, it's 5 out of 10 heavy,
mhm.
and it's just turned it into a playful thing that I'm even giggling about now.
Right.
I'm giggling because it's just, yeah, righto. turned into a challenge,
Yeah.
just that. Yeah, that's my mum, not saying go out there, you're an amazing singer. No, Deborah. No, I didn't get that. That's my mum. Yeah.
But that's actually a really good part too, right? Because that helps us. Sometimes other people can see in us that which we might not, right? Especially when it's something like this. Somebody might point out, oh, but you've got this. You've got the capacity to get through this. You can do this. And even if we think, nah, it's the reflection helps. So it's the reflection that is a beautiful inspiration, right? So using other people's opinions or what other people often say to you, oh, you're so good at this. Bring
As a
it in.
driver.
Bring it in.
I think that goes back to, even though my very first tip was let go of the old you, reminding the old you has evolved. I don't know what that word was. Evolved, and you've got to hear. So things are movable. It's not set in concrete, which we've talked about, but you've had challenges before, and you've got through. So. And I guess that's the other things, that feedback, mum would say, well, Deborah, come on, you've gone through a lot worse before and you're worried about this. Like, duh. Well, yeah, she would say that. She'll think about that. Like, maybe back in the day, she'd definitely say that. But, just know that you've been through challenges before, no matter what it is. This is not the end of the world for what you've got. Live life to the greatest you can. I know we're coming up for time, but live life to the greatest you can with what you've got, because you're here for one chance.
Yeah.
Go hard, but without breaking yourself. I say go hard.
But that's actually, I like that. The embracing your emotions. One of the things that I've said before, or I firmly believe, is we all have a life purpose. And but the common theme with all of our life purpose is to know ourselves, like fully know ourselves, and also know ourselves from the perspective that it keeps changing and evolving, and keep becoming something new as we kind of show up as we are and release the shoulds and bring the shadow home and really get a full holistic whole relationship with ourselves, right? So that means too that we are often regularly checking in with the 4 pillars of our own well-being. And the 4 pillars are that's our PEMS check-in, right? So it's the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. We need to be doing that in order to embrace your emotions. Emotions is only 1 pillar, and they're affected by your well-being on your physical, your well-being in your mental, your well-being on the spiritual. That allows you to have that wholeness, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I love how we're ending with our PEMS, because our PEMS is so important. And it's not, so when we talk about our PEMS, someone said to me, I was in Miami recently and I talked to someone, I talked about the PEMS and they went, but that's just an excuse. And I went, no, it's an understand. And I was like, I did.
Excuse?
It's an excuse because I didn't sleep well. And,
No, that's the truth.
And I went, no, it's an understanding of who you are and what's going on right now. And it really, well, when they said that's just an excuse, and I was like, I can feel my emotions bubble up, like, duh. Definitely. I don't know how my filter face went, but I was like, no, this is just an understanding, and it's giving you, now I understand what that's about. And last time I had the same thing happen to me, and I had an amazing sleep and I didn't react. No wonder. And so when I say this is not an excuse. This is just an understanding of who you are.
But it's showing up as you are, with who you are, with an awareness of what's really going on in the whole landscape of it. And it does, it shifts and changes daily. In fact, it shifts and changes throughout the day.
Oh, it moves, and it moves when it feels like. And sometimes you're just like, hang on, I'm just getting used to this, and it's movable. So I think, I think that's a beautiful reminder, because, we talked about movable and it's moving. But we're going to wrap this up, and only purely I could easily do another 4 hours on this. We could do a masterclass on
We
to
could.
embrace emotions. We could get you to do these tips. We could do them in a group. In fact, people, Moira's just giving me the look now. If you would like a 4-hour masterclass on
Yeah,
how to
tell
do
us.
these, tell us, because we would willingly do this where you come on. Moira's like, I love what Debz just like. And now we're doing a new program, and it's
Let's
literally
do this. I'm up for that.
let's go for these tips and let's do them in a group setting and call, and let's get them to move, because you know, if this is all too hard for you, let's throw this into a masterclass where you can sit and pen and paper and do it.
Yeah.
So I'm up for 4 hours of this. You know, I like the way I go, that's a masterclass, 4 hours. I don't know how Moira's feeling. She's smiling at the other end.
I'm good. I'm good. We can do that.
So let us know. But let's wrap this up before we start.
We've got to rattle through these tips or these
Debra knows
strategies.
Yeah. So strategies to embrace your emotions. Grab that note-taking device if you didn't do it before and you're just listening to us, because we're going to condense these down. Moira, you start.
So the first one was letting go. You know that I'm into the letting go process. So letting go of the old version of you, loving the new version. So it's kind of like we're all works in progress. The old you doesn't exist anymore. So let it go.
We haven't got time for the old you.
Yeah,
We haven't got time. No.
Celebrate it, acknowledge it, appreciate it, but let it go.
Gone.
Gone.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not that same person. Well, you're not the same person from yesterday. The next strategy I had written down was self-love. And even just that, I just felt that word, self-love. You know, just embrace your emotions, love yourself for all of this.
Yeah.
Because they're there to show you things. Love this.
Yep.
Give yourself that love bomb that you're not feeling you're getting from others, or you're getting too challenged or anything like that. But self-love is important.
It absolutely is. The next one I have is to remember that no emotion is permanent, and to allow an emotion to come through you and give you the intelligence or the intel that it's there to give you. It's got a message. Got to listen, right? Pay attention to it.
And that's when Moira said, how do I feel about myself here? That is such a quick one. When you feel you're going, how do I feel about myself here? Yuck. Or, oh, empowered. Or just name it, label it. And then it's a lot easier, because if you're avoiding, but I love that. How do I feel about myself here? But be truthful.
Well, it's a beautiful way to get in touch with your intuition. That's the whole reason for that question. How do I feel about myself? Yeah.
Then the next one, the next strategy is lean in. Lean in. Like, don't avoid the stuff. Lean in, but do it with curiosity.
Yeah.
And curiosity just has a playful feel to it. It just feels so much nicer, like, oh, got to deal with this emotion. Oh, I've got to do this when I go home. You know, lean in and, oh, what does this represent? What do I get to do here? Like, make some fun about this, because not fun at yourself, but, well, if you want, but put some fun in there, because this curiosity just takes the sting already away from the chaotic.
Definitely.
That's associated. Yeah, but don't avoid it. I'm going to be very fair. Don't. Yeah.
The next one I have is patience. And I said, this too shall pass. Patience. That's that Deb goes, what?
I know. Patience, I just go, no way, no way. And with the after patience, I wrote the word should down. Now, should could be part of patience, but I should do this. I have to do this. I ought to do this. When you feel that should ripples through your body, I should do this. Oh, who said so? Who said so? Just have a good look at what that should looks like. Back to patience, lean in with curiosity, back to know they're all, impermanent, but should. When that should comes up, it's
red
time.
Flag. It's a red flag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the one.
The next one I have here is that you're not alone. Remember, you're not alone. And that's when Deb said, reach out to us. We are here for you. It's such an important piece to know that, even though I'm saying emotions are impermanent, they shift and change, and you are in a situation, you can deal with it. But sometimes our dealing with it means we need to reach out. So and you said tap into our genius. I like that. Tap into our genius. We've got lots to share for you.
Oh, we have. Now, did I mention the masterclass that I've just created?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. The next strategy I have written down is trust.
Mm.
Trust. It's all movable. Trust that you're going to get to the other end of this. Trust that it's going to work out in the best way. Just trust others, trust yourself, trust the bigger picture. And if it doesn't feel like you're trusting, just go, I trust this. Say to yourself, I trust this.
Yeah.
Even if you don't feel it, say it aloud. I trust this, hand on heart. I trust this is going to work out at the most perfect time. I trust that this is going to, and it goes back to my cousin, calm your farm. It just goes, oh, okay. But I don't feel it. Okay. I trust. Even if you have to say it a few times, but just knowing that everything's movable. It's
Yep.
not set in concrete.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The next one I have here is to watch comparison. And that's when I was saying your journey is yours. Your emotions are yours. It's so important to not compare your emotional journey or how you're coming through an emotional time with how somebody else has dealt with it, because nobody's the same in this. That's when I talked about the grieving process. And it's just, you can talk to other people and get some insights, but not to compare and say, oh gosh, then I should be further down the road than I am, right?
Yeah, and I think that goes, that comparison, that trust, just what you just said, I should be further down the road. No, you should just be, you're in the
You should be
perfect place.
exactly where you are.
Yeah, and you mentioned grief, and I think about that because that is one heck of a roller coaster. I reference it, that you're standing in the waves on the beach, and it can be a little wave that comes along, and that's very lovely, and below the knees and the ankles, and it's playful, and then the next one comes and it gets your lady bits, and you're like, hang on, I've got my phone in my back pocket, but I wasn't prepared. Where did that come from? And it can literally, the very next one that can hit you like that, and then
Knock
that's
you
it.
off your feet. Absolutely.
So that goes back to that trust.
Mhm.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I've got actually one here, and I don't know what it is. I've just got Moira question mark because I clearly didn't write it.
Okay.
So ask Moira, what was that one, Moira?
Or maybe that was the heart coherence. We talked about the
Well,
heart coherent.
Okay, I've got heart coherence, so I've got that one. So I thought there was one in between, but okay, perfect. Okay, well, the heart coherent is that exercise from the start. Do what feels right for you. Put your hand on your heart. Moira even mentioned breathing slowly.
Mhm.
Just take a breath. Take a breath. How many times when you're angry, people go, just take a breath. Just take a breath. Like, slow down. You're going to have a heart attack. How many times have people said that to you? Just when you feel you're on that cray train, just take a breath.
Yep.
And hand on heart, and the heart coherent, just that, be able to say no, be able to just move yourself away from that situation. They're all beautiful strategies to embrace your emotions.
100%. They calm your system. Calm your nervous system.
Yeah.
The next one I have, and we say just for today, the 4 agreements. Just for today, you're going to be impeccable with your word. Just for today, you're not going to take anything personally. Just for today, you're not going to make an assumption. And just for today, you're just going to do your best. Such a beautiful way. I love the 4 agreements, but just for today. Or just like so you were saying, just for this meeting, just for this session, just for this next hour.
Yeah, and it just seems achievable. Someone said you're supposed to be this all the way through your life. Like, oh, that's, we're going to go to my mother-in-law's for dinner, and you can't, and you can't tell her what you really feel about it. Like, oh, I don't want to go then. But just knowing, just for the next 2 hours, everyone can achieve that. It just feels more achievable. I love that. And the 4 agreements, my goodness, can't believe we got this far on without about them. The neck one, the neck one,
The neck one.
the neck one, yes, because the neck is important here, is embracing both sides. Embrace your positive and negative. Don't shy away from your negative and only lean into your positive. You must have dark and light. You must have both to function in this world. You must have duality, because if you don't, you're just beating yourself up to try an unrealistic belief that you have to be positive all the time when you can't.
You can't.
You,
It's actually impossible.
but when I think about this, it's not, you don't have to be negative to people.
Mm-mm.
Just embrace it. This is part about embracing your emotions, not going, right, well, I've been positive all day, so now I'm going to be negative because Moira and Deborah gave me permission. No, Moira and Deborah gave you permission to embrace it, not to bring it out
Yeah, not
because
to
you've been
explode
positive.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Beautiful. But we must have both sides to function.
definitely. The next tip I brought up was I talked about gratitude, but I also referenced what we were talking about the darker side, because that's when I was saying that our power as souls is often hidden in our shadows, in that which we kind of go, that's not good enough, or I'm not going to let people see that about me. And so
Love
it's
it.
about having gratitude about the purpose of your life is to become fully aware of all aspects of you. And like Deb just said, we have the light and the dark, the positive and the negative. We live in polarity. And when we invite all parts of us home, we can be grateful for who we truly are and tell the truth. Show the world, show the collective. I know what we're all doing here, right?
Yeah. Life doesn't have to be a challenge. I think
No,
this thing, it doesn't have to be hard. Doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a challenge. I love gratitude. I can't believe we got so far with gratitude then.
I know, I know. God, gratitude came after four agreements. OMG. But
Yeah,
of course,
totally.
these are in the perfect order for this conversation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I said that.
Yes.
Um, and then the last one I have is about know yourself. And Moira used the word wholesome, or I wrote wholesome down. Having a wholesome relationship. Maybe she didn't know. I don't know.
I said
Wholesome relationship.
wholeness, actually.
Oh,
But
wholeness. Did you?
yeah,
Okay, I remember.
but you can say wholesome.
You hear what you want to hear.
I know, eh?
That's funny. So, have that wholesome wholeness relationship with yourself. Have that beautiful, but know yourself, because when you can know yourself, when people say things to you, you're not reactive. You're just like, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Mhm. Yep.
know that. And also we talked about the PEMS with that, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. That is not an excuse. It's not a justification. It's an awareness of,
Yes.
oh, no
This is
wonder
what's
I'm feeling
going on.
cranky because I didn't make the kids' school lunch last night and now I woke up late. So, yeah, actually, I understand why I'm cranky at the kids. It's actually not
Mhm.
about the kids, it's about me.
Yep.
So go back and just open your eyes. Don't avoid, lean in. It's this lean in part yet
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Lean in.
Embracing your emotions, not running away from them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Any other tip, Moira, before I do wrap up?
The last one I actually said about the using what
Oh,
others say about you to inspire you.
oh
That's when
yes.
we were talking about what your mum challenged you. And I was saying we'll use that as an
You
inspiration to say, oh yeah, I can do this. I have got this. I am good at that. Those types of
yeah,
things, right?
yeah, because they spot it. Other people spot stuff before we spot it.
Yeah, so it's a nice reflection to kind of help you kind of go, oh yeah, it is there. Yeah,
And that's a reminder to reach out to Deborah and Moira.
there you go. Yep.
Because we are neutral, we can spot it. And even if we don't know you and it's the very first call, we know you.
Yeah. Yep.
Already know you. Not
We
we're
can
not
tap into the energy.
we know a little bit more about you than you think you do. Okay, just so you know.
Just
And
saying. Just saying.
and I will say that you can't bullshit a bullshitter. Yeah. And I'm gonna say that because Maura and I have done that bullshit, that one
Mhm.
there. Maura's like, great, now I've got to block that out. But we know, so just be present, and everything is movable.
Hmm,
But what a beautiful strategies to embrace your emotions. Golly gosh.
I love
Um,
that.
no, you know how I'm gonna end this, people. I'm gonna ask you, are you playing the game of life to the fullest? Are you letting these emotions control your world?
Hmm.
Are you holding on to the old you? Are you avoiding dealing with things? Are you not trusting? Like, are you comparing yourself to other people? Because that is not a pleasant place to be, and everything can be changed. So in saying that, there's a couple of things I'd love you to, after listening today, I would love you to let us know what's your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve your goal. What is your highest priority action step you're going to do today to achieve your goal? We would love to know that. But if you don't want to put that, then if you don't want to write that down, that's okay. But just know the more you share, the more you evolve, and the more you're not hiding from things. So we definitely would. And the other tip is, if you really like today, and there's a leaning in of I want more, I want more, I want more, we will 100% do a masterclass.
Yeah.
100% do a masterclass on embracing your emotions, and we will go hard. Well, I say hard, but we will go,
With gentleness.
I'm like, we're going to go hard, but we're going to answer these. We're going to go there, and we're going to put you pen to paper, and you can do this. You can answer these questions there and then with the support of Moira and I, who have over 80 years experience. But life is meant to be fun. It's up to you to do it. And Moira and I are having fun. We're here having fun in life. And there's times we fall over and we pick ourselves up, whether we do it collectively or individually. Yep. But you don't have to let your emotions control your world. You can control your own world with grace and ease.
Yes, I like that. Grace and ease.
Grace and ease. So I want to thank you for joining today. Do let us know the questions I've asked, because we are definitely going to go and play a game of life to the fullest we can. Moira and I, that's what we've signed up here for, and we're taking it. We're taking it for the team. So join our team. Just get out there and start embracing life and play it to the fullest. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Internet. And, thank you, Moira, because it'll be pretty boring, this conversation at one side.
Kind of. Yeah. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, listeners. I look forward to hearing the answers to these questions that you've posed too.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Deborah and Moira, where the mission is to help listeners unlock their full potential and thrive, not just survive. As the episode comes to a close, they trust you've gained some powerful insights. If you haven't already, take a moment to reflect on one key takeaway that you'll apply right away. Before we wrap things up, Deborah and Moira would love to hear from you. Reach out with thoughts, questions, or feedback, and drop your favorite tip from today's episode. They're inspired to see how you're putting your insights into action. Thanks for listening, and remember to keep thriving.